This slow morning flow is the perfect opportunity for you to cultivate just that, to move your body with intentional tenderness and love, to create a moment where you feel fully present and fully aware of what your body is speaking to you. May you find all that you are looking for and then some during this time together in a little oasis in northern Thailand. And now, let's begin. Let's start our practice seated in hero's pose at the back of the mat and reaching forward, coming into child's pose, rocking from side to side, allowing yourself to sink into the mat, coming back to center, noticing how you're feeling, how you're doing this morning. Let's reach the left arm up to the sky, just reaching up or bending the elbow, reaching for your right hip, keeping your head on the mat, sinking your glutes down toward the heels, and coming back to center. Let's switch to the other side. Right arm reaches up to the sky, or placing the hand behind your back, reaching for your left hip. Feeling a nice stretch, making any kind of adjustment that you need to in order to feel comfortable, to feel grounded. And reaching back up, coming to center, sinking into our child's pose, taking note of every sensation in your body, taking note of where your mind is, and allowing yourself to be present. Let's come forward onto the hands and knees, and then releasing the belly down to the mat, and sitting back down into child's pose, so moving between child's and cobra pose, beginning to awaken the spine, moving softly, being gentle with your body through every posture of this practice this morning. This time, let's bend the knees and reach the feet toward the head. But again, not forcing anything as we come back into child's pose. Let's do that again, keeping the knees bent this time, reaching the feet toward the head. And sitting down to child's pose. Breathing into your back. And slowly begin to roll up, coming to seated. Let's place the hands behind the head, bring the elbows out to the sides and then forward as you roll down, bringing the head to touch the mat. And slowly rolling up, elbows together, and opening as you arch the back, looking up to the sky. Open the chest wide, open the heart. And now let's lean to the left side, keeping the elbows out. You can stay here or release the left fingers to the left side of the mat, reaching up to the sky with the right elbow, bending as far as you're comfortable. Let's come back to center. Bring the hand behind the head, reaching Reaching to the right side now, right hand down to the mat if you'd like. Reaching up to the sky with that left elbow, breathing into the left side body. Feeling the wonderful sensation of this stretch. Let's come back to center. Bring the elbows in. And slowly begin to roll down to the mat once again, touching the head down. Let's release the hands, and you can either place them at your sides or grab opposite elbows behind your back, stretching out the arms a little bit more, allowing your hips to sink down onto your heels. And then slowly rolling up. Grab the hands together behind the back, extending through the elbows, and then bring both hands to that right hip, looking from side to side, left to right, moving slowly, waking up the cervical spine, bringing more movement into that spine this morning. Now let's roll the head gently and softly to one side. Coming back to center, let's extend the arms behind you and bring the hands to the left hip now. Again, looking from the right to the left. Soft, gentle movements. Now let's roll the head to the opposite side. If you're feeling any cracks, that's completely normal in the morning. And now coming back to center, extend the elbows once again behind you, reaching back, looking up to the sky, and folding forward as you reach the hands up to the sky, forehead on the mat. And release the hands, bringing them into child's pose once again. Let's come forward as we drop the belly, reach the feet toward the head, and back to child's pose. A bit more fluid this time. Our spine is a bit more active now. The body is a bit more awake. Moving at your own gentle pace. And now let's sit down into our wide-legged child's pose. Tuck the toes and slowly lift the knees into downward facing dog. Walking out the feet, walking out the legs, bending one knee at a time and straightening the opposite one. Let's roll forward to plank, drop the knees down to the mat, and coming back up into downward facing dog. So forward to plank, drop the knees, sit back into a low dog and extend the knees into downward facing dog. Let's do that again. Coming back, straightening the legs. Forward to plank, drop the knees, low dog and upward facing dog. Holding here. Let's reach the right leg up into three-legged dog. Lifting that left heel. Let's bend the right knee briefly, and then bring your right toes behind your left heel, placing your Achilles tendon between your big toe and the second toe. Then coming forward into plank, dropping the knee, dropping the left knee down, and doing the same movement that we did before, lifting into downward dog. Let's lift that right leg up to the sky. Three-legged dog, bend the knee, stacking the hips on top of each other, opening up the hips, keeping the shoulders as square as possible, and then stepping that right foot between the hands as gently, as softly as you can. Bringing the left knee down to the mat. Inhale, reach up to the sky. You can untuck the back toes. Reaching up. And exhale, let's bring the hands down to the mat, pivoting open to the left side. Your left knee is facing forward. Right hand on the mat. Left arm reaching up and over, coming into a modified extended side angle. You can also bend that top elbow, reaching up to the sky. This is going to be a pretty intense stretch. So just take whatever variation you need to this morning. Now let's lift up into a modified warrior two pose. So still bending into that right knee. Arms are out to the sides. Looking over those right fingers. And reaching back, coming into a modified peaceful warrior. Left fingers down on the mat, right arm reaching up and over, stretching out the right side body, connecting with your breath, coming back to it. Exhale, let's come forward, extending that right leg, maybe walking the foot forward a bit, and we're finding a modified triangle pose. An interesting version where we're on our left knee, stacking the shoulders on top of each other, reaching up to the sky with the left arm, right hand on the mat, or right fingertips. You can also have a block underneath that bottom hand. Now let's slowly move back into our modified warrior, reverse warrior. And slowly moving back into our triangle variation. So just moving with your breath between these two positions. Doing what feels right for your body, what you need this morning. Maybe you just need to stay a bit longer in each pose. Wherever you are, let's meet in our modified warrior two. So bending into the right knee. Arms are out to the sides, bringing the hands down to the mat, squaring everything off to the front in a lunge pose. Left knee can be on the mat or lifted up. And now let's turn our fingers to face toward the back of the mat, moving forward and back. Just find the position of your hands that will allow you to feel a nice stretch in those forearms. So when you come back, bending the elbows slightly, this is a great stretch for those forearms. Let's bring the fingers to face forward again, and either step directly back into three-legged dog, or you can lift that right knee, press it into your tricep, hold for a brief moment, and then lift into three-legged dog. Let's lift that right leg up and drop it down as you come into plank, chaturanga, upward facing dog, reaching up to the sky with the crown of the head, and sitting back into child's pose. Beautiful flow, my friend. Now let's come forward again, bending the knees, reaching up with the head toward the feet, sitting back to child's pose. Forward again, and back, moving with your breath. Inhaling as you come forward. Let's hold, and exhale as you come back sinking into child's pose. Let's tuck the toes and slowly begin to lift the knees into downward facing dog. Walking out the knees if you like, or just holding still. Let's come forward to plank, drop the knees, sit back to low dog, and extend the knees into downward facing dog. Inhaling as you come forward to plank, exhaling as you come back to downward facing dog. Coming back to your breath to remind you to stay connected in this present moment. Let's hold briefly in down dog. And then reach the left leg up to the sky into three-legged dog. Hold. And then bringing your left foot down behind your right heel. Your Achilles tendon is right between the big toe and the second toe. And then coming forward to plank, keeping the same position with the feet. Bring that right knee down to the mat. Lift back into downward facing dog. The same motion, the same movement as before. Let's lift the left leg up. Bend that knee, reaching back behind you, keeping the shoulders square to the front of the mat. And then stepping forward between the hands, low lunge. Inhale as you reach up to the sky, untucking the back toes if you'd like. Breathing into the psoas muscle, that right hip flexor. You can bring your hands down onto your left knee. And then bring them down to the mat, opening to the right side now. Finding our extended side angle variation. Reaching up and over with that right arm, or maybe bending the elbow and reaching up to the sky with that right elbow, left hand on the mat or on a block. Right knee is open to the right side of the mat. Coming up now to our Warrior Two variation. Breathing fully into the lungs, feeling yourself present. Noticing how you're feeling in this present moment. Now let's come into our Reverse Warrior variation. Reaching down to the mat or maybe down onto your right leg with your right hand. Reaching up and over with your left arm. Reaching over and coming up and bending into our triangle variation. Extending the left leg. Left hand is down on the mat or on a block. Right arm is reaching up to the sky. Moving back into Reverse Warrior. And with your next breath, coming into our triangle variation. Let's keep moving with our breath. So when you're ready to exhale, you come up, reaching back into Reverse Warrior. And when you inhale, coming forward into triangle. Or you can take more time in each pose. Do what's best for you this morning. Let your body be your guide. And now let's come up into our Warrior Two variation, bending into the left knee. And cartwheel the hands down to the mat, squaring everything off to the front. Hips are square, hands are on the mat, Your back knee can be lifted or stay on the ground, shifting back and forth. And let's stretch our forearms again, fingers facing toward the back of the mat. Back and forth, bending the elbows slightly when you come back. Great job. And let's return the fingers to face forward again. Holding our lizard lunge briefly. And remember, you can either step right into three-legged dog or lift that left foot off of the mat, hug your left knee into the left tricep, and then reach it back into three-legged dog. Reach up to the sky, reach, reach, reach. Hold. And drop the foot down as you come into plank, chaturanga, upward facing dog, reaching for the sky with the crown of the head. Shoulders are far from the ears. And lifting back into our downward facing dog. Beautiful flow. Let's slowly bend the knees, bringing them down to the mat, untucking the toes and sitting back into child's pose. You can stay like this, or maybe reach the hands toward the back, or maybe opening the palms of your hands in a posture of openness. Allowing your mind to follow the posture of your body, saying, I am open to whatever this day holds, and I am ready to receive what I need to receive today. The good, the challenging, everything. And now let's slowly roll up, coming into hero's pose again, like at the beginning of the class. Let's take a moment to breathe. You can bring your hands to your heart or allow them to sit softly in your lap. I thank you so much for practicing with me this morning. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Namaste. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button to get a notification every time we release a new video. And please like, comment, or share this video so that it can reach others who might love and need it too. Thank you so much for your support and for spending this time with me.